chances here. Erik Hansen, he makes his first move. I'm not even sure if Jordan is there yet. Oh, he is. Here we go.
He must be there, and it's no more Caro-Kann. He used the Caro-Kann actually to defeat Erik earlier today, but it's the Berlin defense. Rock solid, one of the most solid openings in chess. So Jordan only needing a draw, he's trying to lock things down, and this is exactly what Anish Giri did against Hansen yesterday when Anish only needed a draw. So Jordan taking a leaf out of his Dutchman's playbook, his fellow Dutchman's playbook there.
Yeah, but that game was quite interesting, actually, because Erik had a golden opportunity to strike back, and he didn't. He missed the shot. And, well, now we're going to see how this develops. What do you think? Berlin, good choice?
For Jordan, it's not his style, so I'm very surprised he's gone for that. Jordan is much more creative. The Berlin is kind of one where you just try and lock things down, and Erik has actually chosen a different strategy to the game against Anish yesterday. He traded off a bishop for a knight, which means we get a slower game. Here, Erik just pushing a pawn forward. White has the better pawn structure, but black does have the bishop pair, so white normally just tries to close the center and slowly maneuver around. It makes a lot of sense in must-win situations just to keep the tension, to not clarify things too quickly. Erik had a chance, as you mentioned yesterday, Jovanka against Anish, but things kind of raced very quickly towards that draw, and he just never managed to get the opportunity to kind of stamp his authority on it. And at least today, this game, it's not going to be a quick one. It's going to be a lot of tension left, and Erik there offering a trade of bishops, trying to get rid of black's bishop pair. Yeah, it's too early to say maybe, but I think Erik's opening choice is a pretty decent one in a must-win situation. Yeah, especially against the Berlin, there's not much you can do to keep life left, so this is one of the better options there.
Play d4 and move 1.
d4 and move 1 is a good one as well, but it's not Erik's style. He's been an e4 player his whole life.
But I kind of like what he's done, because taking on, as you say, c6, if you need to win, you need to unbalance the position, and at least by changing the structure, it gives him those chances. It's quite funny in the position there. I was wondering if Erik had castled, would Jordan have pushed the g-pawn? That would have been a very interesting push, but I expect Erik will go queenside here. I don't know, but he maybe should, again, look for ways to mix it up a bit more if he can.
Yeah, it's a bit of a waiting game with the kings, right? Because if white commits too early, as you mentioned, then black will attack that side. If black commits too early, white has the option of attacking that side as well. And that's actually how Erik lost the first game of today. Against Jordan, he castled too soon and walked straight into a pawn storm. Jordan threw all the pawns towards his king, and he's not going to make the same mistake twice.
And talking about waiting game, only 2 games in my database, and it's telling me you are spot on, David, once again. White's 2 moves have been played. Have actually been waiting moves with both knights. So one knight has moved to the square in front of the king, getting ready for potentially some kingside maneuvers, and the other knight has also relocated itself to the square in front of the queen, getting ready for some action on the left side of the board.
Yeah, so we're expecting maybe one of the white knights to move. You could make an argument maybe for the white queen to move as well, just to kind of keep your opponent guessing. If the white queen steps up the board, then white does have those 2 options, castling either side of the board. I guess the problem, Simon, is no matter which side white castles, there's a potential kind of avalanche of pawns. If white castles that way, then there might be pawns running down, and likewise if you castle on the king side.
Yes, maybe this idea of just manoeuvring your pieces to the best square as you can makes a lot of sense. I mean, I quite like... well, I mean, I really... OK, if Jordan doesn't play g5 here, do you want to bet?
No, because I think he's going to do it.
OK.
OK, we're seeing his screen, and hopefully we can stay on this picture, because we're expecting Jordan to pick up a pawn over on the left half of his screen, but the g-pawn, and push it forward 2 squares. I said he wouldn't make the same mistake twice, Erik, but this is really playing with fire. Don't try this at home. Don't allow your opponents to throw pawns towards your king. And
this is so well known,
wow.
And I mean, the reason why the pawn move that you guys are mentioning is so dangerous is because white has actually picked up Harry and moved it 1 square.
Yeah.
And this means that the contact points between enemy pawns is actually going to be on the 4th row, which is an easier row for black to get to. Oh, so dangerous.
I agree. I mean, this is a rule in... OK,
well, we would have lost the bet.
Yeah, I mean, David, you know, you should have taken it again like the world champs, I think, but...
Too good at the betting, Simon. I'm never trusting myself, and I think that move will come, it's just not yet.
Yeah.
And, OK, first Jordan took a moment to solidify the centre to stop white pushing any pawns forward there, and now he's brought his bishop out. And look at how Jordan, he's not committing his king. White's now kind of put his target out there. He said, okay, my king is on the king side. You go for it if you want to, but it might take you a while to build up that attack. And Jordan, meanwhile, is saying, yes, I will build up that attack, but first I'm going to keep you guessing.
Yeah.
And, okay, it looks like...
I mean, Berlin has a very boring reputation, maybe a little bit unjustified, and I normally don't say that, but I mean, it was Gary Kasparov who said even the queenless ending was very interesting to play. But when you see positions like this, they often in the middle game come really to life with pawn storms, with attacks against the opponent's king, which is good to see. And there's a lot of play left here, which I guess is good for Eric at the moment. Still not entirely sure what his plan will be. Is he gonna move the pawn Freddie 2 squares? Is that something you do here? I'm not sure. Maybe not here, but at some point.
Yeah, White's F pawn could go forward,
Okay,
just as you say it, Simon.
Yes.
It has happened. So offering a trade of pawns. So just before I think Jordan got a chance to push forward and start attacking him, Eric has taken the opportunity to trade a set of pawns, trade a set of bishops. And I'm expecting Jordan, yeah, look at this. He's about to castle on the long side to the queen side. He's got a choice of either side to castle, and there we go. He is an aggressive player.
Yay!
Yeah, good for him. We said yesterday the best way to get a draw is to play for a win. And I think that move is, well, we'll find out if it's a good choice or not.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, we were talking about the Berlin defence. It's the most drawish opening in chess, but no matter what opening you choose at any level, you can put your own spin on it, right? You can play a drawish opening for a win, or you can play a really aggressive opening for a draw. So, yeah, Jordan embracing his inner his inner instincts there and just saying, okay, I am going to go for the win. I'm going to castle on the opposite side as you. And, okay, there we go. Eric, I don't like that move, I've got to say. Just a very slow...
yeah, look at that.
Okay, there we go.
I'm just like,
Very
suddenly I'm
slow.
looking at it and I'm like, hang on a second. If the queen can magically hop over the bishop, she could plant herself on the e5 square and attack the knight and the rook. I mean, is there any kind of...
So is there a tactic bishop
Yeah,
takes
I mean,
pawn?
there's something on the dark squares.
For example,
Probably not, but...
Yeah,
No,
just to show the
probably not.
idea, this bishop, if it wasn't in the way, then the black queen, for example, let's make a random move, it could create a double attack, hitting the knight and hitting the rook at the same time. Loose pieces do drop off. And Simon, yeah, you mentioned that this is very tempting. Bishop takes pawn, for example. I don't think it quite works here because you can just bring the knight back and defend your rook. But
yeah.
Yeah.
He's played it.
he's played it, yeah.
He's going for it. He's
played it.
moving forwards.
There we go. Gary, the G-pawn, steps forward this time, hitting the white rook. And when the white rook retreats, I mean, he can pretty much pre-move this. He's going to push his pawn forward. And this is the idea Jovanka mentioned. This pawn is a hook, as we call it. You can kind of break open lines for your attack by using this pawn. And when there's tension between pawns, it's nearly guaranteed that a line will open up. And for example, if white ever dreams of taking this pawn, which he shouldn't, then suddenly this rook is open for the black rooks. The black queen is already threatening to sneak in sometimes and deliver a nasty checkmate. This white king is so open. I mean, from the lines, but also from the diagonals. And I think Eric's in big, big trouble right now. So, OK, he actually retreated to a different square, this square, but the same idea is happening. This pawn push is going to devastate the white king and its shelter.
Super dramatic for Eric.
And it happens.
Coming.
Yeah. These moves, like you pointed out, the hook, as you call it, are very important. I mean, when you've castled, you have to be so careful moving pawns in front of your king. You often do it to give an escape square for a back rank, but I remember there was a story about Bobby Fischer, and he lost the game by playing such a move early on, and he couldn't sleep apparently for ages just about this little pawn move, which doesn't seem to make much difference, but it's a major target. And look at black's pieces now. Whose king is safest? It's clearly the black king, and that's the most important thing in such situations. But it's getting a little bit murky here. I mean, OK, black's just going for checkmate.
One-track mind here, Jordan. He's attacked the white queen with his knight, and when the queen moves, I'm pretty sure his idea is to actually jump forward with his queen. I don't think it actually works right now. Trying to threaten checkmate, this white king has no escape squares, but if you just shuffle the white rook forward one square, suddenly, whoops, there's a pin on this diagonal, and it's only one check. It's only one check, and suddenly, after, for example, a queen trade, look at this black knight, it is trapped. So Jordan, this was his plan, but he can't quite break through to checkmate, so he has to go for a backup. And in this position, maybe he just needs to give this knight support, maybe with his rook, maybe by bringing his queen forward, maybe even pushing Harry the h-pawn.
That was
to
the
open
move
up
that
more
occurred
lines.
to me, actually, push Harry and open up those lines. I also quite like, I was thinking about bishop takes pawn as well, just to cover the square that the rook wants to go to.
But maybe this was slightly premature, though. I mean, you didn't need to rush the attack. I mean, I love rushing the attack if it works, but you're giving Erik some chance now to bring the queen forwards 2 squares, to consolidate, to maybe start kicking some of the black pieces away. And the danger here for Jordan is if he overdoes it. You can easily get too excited, move in, move that queen in, as you pointed out, David, and suddenly realise I'm not checkmating. I've done a bit of premature attack.
Yeah.
Ulation.
Yeah, and actually this would be a losing blunder. It looks like you're threatening checkmate, but you lose because your knight is trapped. So Jordan still doing well, but suddenly the stakes are higher and the margin for error.
All right.
Also.
Well,
He's gone for h5. He's trying to open up more lines. Yeah.
He's trying to open up this rook to break through to the white king, and Erik has to shut that down. He attacks the black knight.
all right. Erik Hansen, he is fighting for his life. He has to win this game to have any hopes of surviving this match. These are the results so far on day 2 of the Oslo Esports Cup. Magnus Carlsen is down by 1 point against Liam Le, losing the first game. They are now playing game 3. Magnus with the white pieces fighting for a win in that game. And Pragnananda, he won the first game against Shakhriyar Mamedyarov and is in the lead in that match. They are also now playing game 3. And of course, so is Anish Giri and Jan Christoph Duda. 2 draws between those two, so they are tied now playing game 3. But it's most dramatic for Erik Hansen. Losing 2 games, he has to win this game, but it's not looking good for him.
It's not looking good at all. And black's knight, we mentioned it did need support, and it's been supported by a black pawn. So no opening up of the lines for the black rook yet towards the white king, but the black knight on a nice outpost. And still that white pawn on g4 that Jovanka mentioned, it's up for grabs next move. Black's bishop is about to pounce and capture it. Black's rooks are going to start lining up towards the white king. And if we just think about the grand scheme of things, everything's happening on the king side. Black's king, never in any trouble. I mean, it's going to take white 5-6 moves to even have a serious threat against the black king. And he's not going to get that time, not going to get that luxury. So, yeah, it's looking very one-sided traffic right now, unfortunately for Erik.
I was going to say, you know, the bar's evaluation, am I misreading it? Looks like it's in favour of white, but, you know, the position is quite treacherous. Or if
it's on black side.
It's on black side, OK.
Yeah, it looks like black has a +1 advantage right now, +1.3.
I mean, I was thinking of some drastic moves here, like moving the rook 2 squares forwards, just to try to get the queens off, just to try to block things off. But maybe a better version of that is moving the knight into the centre. If I'm white here, I really want to swap the queens off because I know I'm going to get checkmated if I don't do something drastic. And understanding the change of pace in a game of chess is really important, that you have to do something, otherwise you're just going to lose. And this is the situation I think Erik's in. If he doesn't do anything drastic, he will just get checkmated. So hence why a move such as this is kind of logical, I feel.
Yeah, it looks good, Simon. I agree with this kind of suggestion, because here, if the queens do disappear, for example, even if black ends up winning the pawn back, and suddenly no more checkmate threats against the white king, suddenly white's rook's actually maybe superior to black's, open file and some pressure, some targets. So if this happens, I don't think black should get tempted to trade pieces. Black needs to keep pieces on the board, keep that ammunition for your attack later on, and maybe moving the queen. And I also like your other suggestion. This one is complicated. Black still has ideas such as taking this pawn. I like this one just from a visual point of view, planting the rook on this square. And this is definitely one to remember for viewers at home. Sometimes you can break the trend of your opponent's attacks just by giving up material. And here I'm not quite sure it changes too much, but just kind of visually, just this type of pawn structure, rock solid. And here, yes, maybe black can continue the attack by bringing rooks across. But in general, giving up material just to change the nature of the position, getting rid of your opponent's best pieces is quite a good idea to keep in mind. So here, yeah, I don't see anything else, to be honest, other than this knight move. You could make an argument for maybe retreating the knight to try and remove black's best attacking piece, but it's just too slow. Black will suddenly capture this pawn, attack your rook, and you're running out of squares. You can move it up 1 square, but every move comes with a threat. And
it's getting pretty drastic.
Very scary now.
You have to change the pace here if you're Erik, and give yourself some chances. I mean, he probably doesn't want to swap the queens off, but you must when you're about to get checkmated. And it seems like that is a serious danger to his king here.
Yeah, if he doesn't find this move, I think Eric's just doomed over the next few turns.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, a slow queen move. That is not going to help too much. Now, this pawn can be captured. Black's rook can even come across to take it. Oh, that feels a bit too slow. Okay, the black queen moves. Very surprised, actually, Jordan didn't pause before playing this move. And
That's a bad sign, actually. It just shows that you're a bit over-eager.
Yeah,
you
the
know.
bar there.
Yeah, because he had all the time in the world to calculate what would happen after bishop takes pawn, and maybe there might be some rook takes pawn. But it's good to sit there and calculate and kind of try to get to the nuts and bolts of the position. Just playing quickly just means it's a little bit superficial at times, and you can potentially make a mistake. And Eric just inviting a piece that wasn't working to the defense. I wasn't going to say party, but that's the wrong move.
definitely
Word, rather.
It's definitely not a party for white, this position. At least he's centralized now with his pieces, so any attack that comes, he will have some chance of stopping it. And this is one thing I've noticed from Jordan in the past before. Whenever I play him, I've played him a lot in over the board chess and in blitz chess. He's a bit impatient. He often gets great positions against me, but somehow, as long as I can stabilize, I know that he gets kind of trigger happy sometimes, and he tries to attack too soon, or if it's just a very quiet position. Earlier we were talking about the art of doing nothing. When I play Jordan, I do nothing, and he lashes out. He'll do something. Sometimes it's great, but sometimes it's just premature, and he's just not ready. So, okay, he's pausing now, which is a good sign. He needs to think now.
I was just thinking about your book that you kind of
Art of
said
Doing
you
Nothing.
might write. The Art of Doing Nothing.
Sounds very Eastern, doesn't it? Like very Eastern philosophy.
The art of Zen. Zen chess.
All right. Well,
It would be quite a thick book, right? Wouldn't it?
or it's the opposite, right? It should be just an empty book.
The opposite
Empty.
of War and
Yeah,
Peace.
Yeah.
I was going to say, the engine here is really liking it for Jordan van Foreest. And I was going to mention that because I just saw a tweet that the engine that we are using, Stockfish, just won the Top Chess Engine Championship, setting a new record, winning by 19 points. I'm not 100% sure what that means, but I guess the top engines are up against each other in chess games, and Stockfish won.
Yeah, they're often given a set of positions. They're given a variety of different openings, different styles of positions, and they compete against each other. They play one game with white, one game with black, and Stockfish is just the best one out there these days. He calculates so well and understands everything so great. And wow, big moment.
Big move on the board. I was just going to say, I mean, Eric's grabbed the pawn, but it's so risky.
Jordan's about to push Harry the H-pawn side.
Yeah, so scary, that move. So scary.
Look at what Jordan's done as well. He's hovering over the square. He hasn't dropped the pawn. But that looks like a good move. One move away from checking the white king, promoting a pawn then.
Yeah.
Eric's plan.
I mean, Eric, it's like a tempo away from doing very well, because he's also about to bring his queen in, take the pawn on the left-hand side, get to the black king, or this
going for an
move.
attack himself. Though.
Yeah, this is really heating up
Look
now.
at the bar.
Really heating up.
Happening.
Has Jordan just prematurely gone for this attack? Because it still looks very good for black, but it's not one-sided traffic anymore. White is threatening checkmate in one move. Look at the white queen and knight. I mean, you can look at it on either board right now, but white's queen and knight are threatening to take the pawn in front of the black king, and that would be checkmate. The pawn on the C surface.
This is crazy. Crazy position now. Absolutely
Why
crazy.
is Jordan not pausing to calculate?
Yeah.
He's about to push that pawn forward, stopping checkmate, but he needs to pause.
They've got 10 minutes.
Really
they have
worked
10 minutes in a very complicated position. They're not using their time properly. I mean, it has to be said. You've got this position where one mistake will change the game. It's such a complex position. Just slow down. First of all, can you look for the most forcing moves? Moving the black pawn on with check, promoting to a knight. Well, okay,
That's another check.
I love promoting to a knight. I mean, how many opportunities? That's what you look at first, because they're forcing moves. So just slow down here.
That's what he's done. Okay, for Jordan fans, that is a good thing that he's paused and didn't rush with this pawn move, because as Simon says, we'll show it actually on the board in a moment, but there is a very, very tempting option. Black's H-pawn can step towards the white king, checking, and after the white king moves, you can't promote to a queen because you actually lose time and you will get checkmated, but you can promote to a knight with a
Maybe
check.
the problem is he's on the computer and he's got auto promote to queen on, and he doesn't know how to turn it to promote to knight. So when he moves the H-pawn down 2 squares, he needs to get a knight because if he gets a queen, he will fall into checkmate. So it could be, I mean, I've seen this happen before in some games where you have to work out, I'm sure this is not the case, but if you have I mean, a lot of people do this in blitz chess because it's very rare when you get a pawn to the other end of the board that you don't get a queen. Extremely rare. But in this situation, Jordan has to get a knight if he goes to that plan. I mean, it's possible, unlikely, but possible. Maybe the arbiter, therefore, you know, he could ask the arbiter if that's the case, something like that is, well, you have to think about it.
Yeah, I've played on this this cool new Chess 24 play zone before, and I think there is a button with settings where you can change it during the game, and Jordan does have enough time to do that over 7 minutes, but he is going back to the other plan. Maybe that's on his mind, Simon. He's about to push his pawn. He thinks there's no reason to rush and go for a promotion to try and promote to a knight.
He's gone for it.
Yeah, he's stopped the checkmate threat, but now White's knight can go and capture a pawn, for example, with a check. Suddenly, it's really unclear.
Well, I mean, suddenly it looks like Eric's going to have the first punt.
Look at what he's just done, Simon. He clicked on the settings and the screen changed slightly. Maybe he was looking for that button.
Oh, wow. So he might be looking for
He's just clicked away the settings again.
I mean, can you get the arbiter here? I mean, because there are arbiters live to possibly, you know, ask them, how do I get a knight? You
can. For sure. You can call
must be
over
able
an
to.
arbiter to help you resolve those kind of things. I was just thinking, though, you know, Eric's attack looks, you know, like it could generate something, but is it more than
Sorry,
a draw?
Ivanka, he's about to put his king on what I think is a losing square.
Oh!
He's about to drag it towards the white knight, but I think that loses.
Really?
And I think he has to go towards the centre. I think he has to step up the board and...
Because of a check winning the knight at some point?
Yeah, I think...
yes, of course, yeah.
There we go.
You could just win
It's
the
a
knight.
blunder by Jordan.
A big blunder, and not only can White give a check first with his queen, but he can actually give up his own knight first to blow open the...
Wow.
That's
incredible.
This defences around the black king.
Huge developments. Eric Hansen, he has to win this game. And suddenly it's looking good.
But Jordan, he only made this move because he needs a draw. He thinks that Eric is forced to give check, check, check and make a draw, and he thinks that will guide him through and win the match. But Eric has more than just a draw here.
We have to check out what Eric's...
Yeah, we have to show this, all of this on the board, because so much has been happening, and it's fascinating. Hopefully, we can keep an eye on the players. In this position, we were talking about the knight promotion. That would have started not by defending against the checkmate threat, as Jordan did, but by pushing forward. And Simon, now this cool move. I've got auto-promote to a queen on my screen.
See, this is the problem. We can show what happens if you get a queen, because maybe this is something you have to think about when you're playing these events. If you get the queen, it's an auto-promote, then White checkmates.
Yeah.
And this is the incredible sort of extra drama here. So you have to get a knight with check.
Yeah, so actually in this position, Black has to promote on this square to a knight, and the knight, I can't even show it because I've got auto-promote on the board, but this knight would actually check the white king, and this would lead to a very good position for Black. But look at Jordan, he suddenly realised after not going for this, after not pushing his pawn forward, instead defending, suddenly after knight check, he should have run away. Whoops,
Played it.
not that
He's
way.
played it. I think he's played it. Great news for Chess Bra fans.
Yeah, I got to show this, Simon. But he should have run this way to the centre. But instead, as you mentioned, great news for Chess Bra fans, because suddenly, after a queen check, this knight is falling. This knight is dropping to the queen and rook. And suddenly, Jordan, with his head on his hands, it's turned over. It's completely 360 now. White is winning. White is several pawns up.
He's also kind of, this is Jordan, it's kind of turned a little bit crimson. Did you notice that? Like, he was in trouble,
I've done that before many a time. Very easy for a ginger to go red, I tell you.
Maybe what Jordan missed as well is that after a check now from the pawn, he can just hide in front of the black pawn. And this white king is it's a great blockader. Let's go back to the players. Jordan is in huge trouble.
It's definitely dramatic right now. In the Oslo Esports arena, Eric Hansen, is he making that comeback that he has to do in this match? And same situation for Magnus Carlsen. The bar is now all the way over to Magnus' side in his third game against Liam Lea. He is down by 1 point in that match. But in this one, look at Magnus. Is he making a comeback just like Eric Hansen? It's drama in the Oslo arena right now.
And we saw Jordan talking to himself a minute ago, cursing himself. Just, what has he done?
Well,
He was just
you
thinking too much
pointed
about
this
the
out,
result.
David, from having experience of him. I mean, that's where he needs not just a chess coach, but maybe like a life coach in some respects. It's like, yeah, he's playing great moves, but when you're winning, just slow down. As you said, you pointed out, and he's run straight into that error. I mean, how much time has he got? He's got
6.5 minutes still.
He could have used that time to at least get a draw in this game, and now we expect Eric to win, and that will take it into another game.
And yeah, look at Jordan, the kind of disappointment on his face, the devastation there. And yeah, I played him in the Mr. Dodgy Invitational last year, and I was able to knock out Jordan from the tournament because he kept doing the same to me. He would build up these great positions, and then one premature move or just a bit too much haste, forgetting about the opponent's resources as well. He often forgot about my ideas, and yeah, still that's a bit of a weakness in his game. And he puts the headset down. He's not resigning yet, but he knows that he's losing this game. White's knight is just a great defender. Now Black's knight has gone, no way to break through.
Look at that, though. I mean, look how upset he is. I mean, that is quite dramatic, just his body language there. And if he loses this game, it's not just you lose and you still a draw next game. It's a good position, but he's got to get over that. Yeah. So psychologically, again, he's going to be kicking himself. And that is a big, big thing.
Yeah. And the reason he's losing is because he's 3 pawns down on the position, and the attack now is just too slow. White's offering to trade the queens off now. Eric doing a good job there. If the queens disappear, it's game over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he kind of needed that moment of desperation. Just look at him now. He's like, okay, right now I need to recover. Now I need to get back into full focus mode. I mean, whenever I'm in that kind of situation where I've made a massive blunder, I go, well, if I could make a blunder, so could my opponent. So always fight on. And the queens have come off, which is not great news for Jordan's fans. And now Jordan offering a trade of rooks.
You mentioned, Simon, the chess bra fans. It's going to be a party for them after this game.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, it's great to see Eric win a game. No, nothing against Jordan, who's a fantastic player. It's just nice to see another game as well. We're going to get another game out of this match, meaning Eric still needs to win with the black pieces. It's going to be tough, but he's fighting so well in this game.
Yeah, and all White needs to do here is move his king out of the way. There is a threat to capture the White knight, the Black rook staring down at the White king, but just move the king out of the way and...
Yeah, it's game over.
3 pawns down in an endgame. Yeah. Not much else to say about it.
No, I can remember like going red. My worst time this happened to me. I think we've all done it. I played a horrible mistake. I fell into stalemate. I was a grandmaster. I was leading a tournament. I was 2 pieces up, and I fell into a stalemate against a FIDE master. And it's funny how the crowd can smell. They can smell blood. They're like wolves. This grandmaster. They were there before I played it. And all of a sudden, there's 25 people just obviously laughing and like, look at this idiot. And they're just there, and it's just, oh my words. I just try to hide in my hands, and I was a tomato beacon. So it was like, go away. The wolves are there. But yeah, he's found the move, David. And
credit to Eric. He's played ever since Jordan's blunder. He's played perfect chess. Yeah. He rebuffed the attack, traded everything off, still keeping his 3-pawn advantage, and look at this, just putting everything on safe squares. It's the last few moves, I think, of this game. Jordan just going through the motions, getting over his disappointment. Yeah, it's maybe about to be a 4-pawn advantage for White.
Yeah.
It's
a lot of pawns.
And it's going to shift momentum, right? So still a draw will be enough for Jordan in game 4. But making that comeback and getting that win must be a huge boost for Erik Hansen going into game 4.
Yeah, it certainly will be a big boost, and he will certainly be primed and ready for game 4. And when it comes to Jordan, we have to think about him, and here is where the role of his second will be super important, because we know that his second at this particular tournament is Johan Sebastian Christiansen, and so Johan has to be ready to think about what he's going to say, how he's going to prep Jordan. Is he going to be like, yeah, you can do it, game 4, or is he going to be like, well, now you know what you have to do, or whether he's going to just be a bit more realistic or pragmatic.
I mean, that's when you need someone who knows you really well, because sometimes you need someone to speak to you, but sometimes you need to be left alone. So it's sort of what is the right approach? You need someone who's not just a coach, but a good friend in these situations, I think. So, yeah.
Yeah, and Jordan, he's still visibly visibly upset. He needs to really get it out of his mind now. And I don't know what the best answer is. Just keep playing till the end of the game, play till checkmate, get it out of your system at the board, or just quickly go and kind of take a longer break now before the next round.
I would take a longer break.
Take a long, resign and just have a break. You know, just go to your room and eat some sushi.
Yeah.
So,
4 pawns down now. It's 5 pawns against 1. And actually, just from experience as well, Jordan, he doesn't resign very often. Well, not as early as some players as well. I think Mamedyarov is one of the earliest resigners in world chess, at least at the top, and Jordan may be one of the kind of slowest resigners, as we say. I've seen Mamedyarov resign in positions where he's just slightly worse, but Jordan, he often plays on.
Well, we do like it when they play it all the way to checkmate.
Yes, we love that. Yeah, never resign, especially when you're first learning the game, or even, I mean, all the way up to Super Grandmaster level like these guys. Why resign?
Do you think it should be a rule? I mean, we do have rules. You cannot offer draws before a certain move. Should it be a rule? You have to play until checkmate?
I would love to see that, especially on this tour in rapid chess, but it is a bit harsh on the players if they're depressed with their positions.
Yeah.
Not great for the mental health, kind of sitting there just thinking, oh, I'm no hope and I have to sit here for another 45 minutes.
yeah.
All right. Well, this is great news for Erik Hansen. Is he making that comeback to have hopes of taking this to tie breaks? Magnus Carlsen, the bar all the way over to his side as well, trying to make a comeback against Liam Le. The bar is really liking it for Magnus. He is down by 1 point in that match, so a win here will mean that they are tied before game 4. So drama in that one as well. Pragnananda is in the lead in the match against Mamedyarov, and the bar is slightly over to Prag's side in game 3. If he wins this game, it's going to be over. He's going to decide the match again after only 3 games. Mamedyarov in a little bit of trouble. He needs at least a draw in this game. Dudagiri played 2 draws so far, and the bar is in the middle in game 3 as well. We will definitely see a game 4 in this one.
Yeah, Jordan, I want you to play on to the end on one hand, but on the other hand, there are so many other exciting games.
Yes, I
Magnus
know.
Carlsen's position is crazy right now.
Really?
So
That looks fascinating. I mean,
he does. It looks like your type of position in that game.
Yeah,
Sam.
I'm just looking over and I'm like, hello. So it's like, I mean, the game is over here. Eric's going to take that pawn with his knight. Next move probably is, well, that's one way to win, one of the simplest. But
3 pawns up, there's plenty of ways to win this one.
yeah, plenty. You can do many different things. But Magnus in a must-win situation, really, at some point with the white pieces. Well, not actually quite must-win, but this is his big opportunity.
Must not lose.
It's
Must-not-lose situation. That's
Yeah.
a better way of saying it. Yeah.
It's actually funny because in this position, Erik is 3 pawns up and completely winning. In Magnus's game, he's 3 pawns down.
Oh.
But he's winning.
Whoa.
So he's gone all out for the attack. He's kind of channeled his inner Dubov, Magnus Carlsen, sacrificed 3 pawns for a winning attack.
Or even his inner Jordan.
His inner Jordan, exactly.
Yeah. We're going to jump straight into Magnus's game when this one finishes. It looks like Erik is winning. Is it hard for Erik now to sort of guide it to that win, or is this just about Jordan finding...
You
This
can
is
tell him.
about Jordan just simply playing out his frustration and...
Erik's body language is pretty relaxed there. He knows he's winning. He can do anything. He doesn't need to rush even. He can just slowly bring the white king.
Maybe Jordan's just thinking how he can dodge the interviewer. You know, you know, I've seen Duda just, you know, like a bit like, what's it, British Bulldog? Yeah. There's this game, a bit like rugby, where you're playing the playgrounds and you've got to, you know, get to the other side of the pitch and dodge them. I want to, you know, he's maybe thinking, do I go left when I get to the interviewer, then go right? Because I really don't want to speak to anyone after this. So I want to get to my room.
And there we go. And he just runs off Jordan van Foreest. He resigns game 3, but he is still in the lead. Erik Hansen making a comeback. He still has to win.